Welcome back to Lady Game Conversations, your safe space for real talk, personal growth, and learning how to lean into our femininity fully. Here, we stay strong, we stay feminine, and we stay winning. Let's get into it. Well, hello, my lovelies. Now, if you clicked on this video today, I'm going to assume that you're going through a healing process of some sort, and you are dealing with the aftermath of betrayal. And the word trust right now is probably not even in your vocabulary right now. That is not the essence of you right now, trusting people. And I understand this more than anyone. I wanted to have a real conversation with you all today to discuss this topic and how you can start trusting again after betrayal without losing yourself. Because the truth is it's not about trusting others. Really, it's all about starting to trust yourself again. So first, I really want to acknowledge the painful part of being betrayed. I can tell you that it is the worst feeling, because it's not just about the pain, like the action behind the betrayal, like the cheating or the deceit, the lying, the bullshit. It's the fact that that person looked you in your face and they lied and made you look like a goddamn fool, playing in the streets, just acting up while you're thinking, I love this person, I'm giving this person a chance, I'm trusting myself, I'm being vulnerable, I can do this. And if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking like, what happened? Where did I go wrong in my thought process? How did I choose this piece of shit as a friend, as a confidant, as a lover, as a boyfriend, as a husband? How could I have made such a poor choice, a poor decision? And you're probably thinking to yourself, like I thought so many moons ago, am I ever going to be able to trust myself again? Like, should I even pick them? Should I have someone else pick someone for me? Because my decision making is trash. I want to let you know that feeling, that overwhelming feeling that probably just feels crippling at times, is completely normal. And I want you to know that it is not the end of your story. So I want to go into what trust means to me, right? Because I at times feel like the word trust has a little bit of a negative connotation attached to it. And I think trust, it's such a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful word. And I believe that trust has power behind the meaning of what it means, right? Because trust, in essence, doesn't mean being naive. It doesn't mean trusting every Dick, Tom, and Harry, and Susan, and Karen, or whatever. It doesn't mean, trusting in everything either, right? I believe that trusting means being wise and being open and vulnerable, right? But a maturity to that, being mature in your wisdom, mature in your openness and your vulnerability. And I believe that trusting yourself is so important, right? Because when you start to trust yourself, you can trust yourself in seeing those red flags and setting those boundaries, and trusting yourself knowing when you're going to have to probably just walk away. Because when you rebuild the trust within yourself, you stop giving away that trust too easily. You just stop, right? And you learn how to stop withholding that trust because of fear. Story time. When I was married the first time, on my second marriage. In my first marriage, You talk about betrayal. It was unbelievable. And I don't want to rag on my ex-husband, the father of my oldest daughter. I don't believe in doing that, especially because I wasn't a victim and I too was a perpetrator as far as betraying him as well. But I can say that he betrayed me first, and I was just a vengeful, petty person. And the betrayal was awful. It was horrible. It broke my heart into pieces. And to be honest, I never thought that I would ever, one, be okay, be whole again. I wasn't confident in my decision-making ability at all, especially some of the people that I dated after I divorced my ex-husband. I honestly wanted to just throw in the towel and just say, forget it. I was just done. And actually, at a certain point, I did. And funny enough, when I surrendered and forgave myself and started to rebuild trust within myself, I met my husband, my present day husband. Wasn't my husband at the time, but I met him probably a year and a half later after my divorce. So I can tell you that there are second chances. One, two, even though the betrayal cuts deep, it hurts deep, and it makes you question your ability to not just trust others, but trust yourself again. Know that you will. You will trust yourself again. You will trust others again. But you have to build. You have to build on that. And if you follow these instructions, I promise you, you'll be just fine, beautiful. So how did I rebuild this trust within myself, right? So I can start trusting others again. Well, I can tell you that it didn't happen overnight. Baby steps, okay? Small steps is what it took, okay? I didn't have a rule book, didn't look for one. You know, when you're sad and you're feeling tormented by anyone who's betrayed you, the last thing you want to do is read or anything like that. You just want to crawl in the bed and just be sad. But I did do that, but I also got the hell up and started practicing trusting my voice again, right? Like, I swear, I practiced trusting my own voice, my own instincts again, because they are solid. And you have to tell yourself this: I can trust myself, right? And what I did was I practiced trusting myself again in certain situations at work, right? Trusting myself in friendships again. You know, I've been betrayed by people in relationships, friendships, and at work. I mean, I had to rebuild that trust, right? And so even in the smallest of tasks, you know, like, okay, I just got to get this done. I can trust myself to get this done. I trust myself this needs to get done. And then once you see the outcome is positive, you feel accomplished, you'll start bit by bit trusting yourself again. And remember to hear yourself, tell yourself, I trust myself. And I trust myself to never abandon myself again, just for the sake of keeping someone else that really doesn't even need to be there in my life. In closing, my lovelies, you do not have to stay stuck in betrayal. You just don't. You are allowed to trust again, but this time it will be from a place of wisdom and not from the wounds. Just remember this one thing, my lovelies. Your heart is still your superpower, okay? Not everyone deserves it. Hell no. Not everyone is deserving of that beautiful heart of yours. But that doesn't mean that you have to hide it forever. If this resonated with you in any way, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and please share with someone who you think may need to hear this. Now, let me know, what have you learned on your healing journey about trust, right? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, my lovelies, keep shining and just breathe. You've got this. Thanks for watching.